Guys, watch the previous part done before this, the video link is in the description. Now let's get started. Hyo-yu is ready to send Xiao Lang to hell, but he manages to dodge the arrows well. Xiao Lang knew that it was going to be hard to escape, so he called out to Xiao Bai. A vermilion bird appears out of nowhere and, in the blink of an eye, its shape shifts into a horse. This magical beast takes flight and leaves on foot. Hyo-yu is actually thrilled to see such a creature and orders his men to catch up with them. He plans to kill Xiao Lang and capture the magical beast. Xiao Lang tries hard to increase his speed, but Hyo-yu is right behind him, and they are continuously attacking him with arrows. Hyo-yu suggests that Xiao Lang should just give up and accept his fate, as his Xiao Bai wasn't that capable when compared to his dragon blood horse. Xiao Lang couldn't deny with Hyo-yu's statement, and he had to make some changes or else Xiao Bai would be captured. Without any further delay, he takes out a signal firelight as he has to seek refuge in the depths of Sumeru Mountain, and he hopes that Kyung-sun will find them in time. Xiao Lang sends the signal, and Xiao Dao notices the fireworks. As soon as Liuya gets to know that it is coming from the direction of Sumeru Mountain, she understands that it's Xiao Lang, and she rushes to save him without thinking for a second. Meanwhile, a subordinate informs Huo Lai about the assassin that has broken into Sumeru Mountain. Huo Lai was surprised to know about it, and he finds the person bold enough as he's come here without being invited. He is all set to go check out who this person is. The news of the assassin spreads like wildfire and many of them decide to go and check it out. Liuya is worried as she notices a good amount of people going towards the Sumeru Mountain. Liuya clenches her fist, and she tries to send a telepathic message to Xiao Lang, reminding him to take care of himself. Hyo-yu follows the trails and arrives at a forest. He notices a blood spot on the bark of a tree, and he knows that Xiao Lang has been injured and he won't be able to go very far away. Hyo-yu orders his men to search for Xiao Lang before his fellows come to his aid. Meanwhile, one of his men informs Hyo-yu that Xiao Lang is currently beside the bottomless cave. This was a perfect chance for Hyo-yu to shine, and he became even more resolute to end Xiao Lang's life in the bottomless cave. Xiao Lang somehow reaches the bottomless cave and pants hard. Suddenly, there's some movement behind him, and when he turns, he finds Hyo-yu and his men glaring at him. Hyo-yu makes him a deal, saying that their fight may end here, but if he hands in the magical beast, Hyo-yu won't chop him into pieces. Xiao Lang finds it interesting, but he would never ever offer Xiao Bai, especially to people like Hyo-yu, the one who rapes women, poisons others, and violates the rules in the competition. Damn, Hyo-yu knew that he did stand a chance to get the beast, so he yelled at his men to kill Xiao Lang. His men follow his commands and start shooting arrows at Xiao Lang. Xiao Lang whispers in Xiao Bai's ear, telling him to jump into the cave. Xiao Bai nods, and without any hesitation, it jumps into the bottomless cave, and the very next moment, Xiao Lang follows the beast. There was silence all over the place, and Hyo-yu and his men stood there motionless. They didn't know what to do after Xiao Bai and Xiao Lang jumped into the bottomless cave. Hyo-yu slams his fist on the bark of a tree and regrets everything that has happened. He simply wanted Xiao Lang to die in a more pathetic way rather than having such an easy death. Moreover, Hyo-yu even lost the magical beast. Unexpectedly, there was a whirring sound from the inside of the cave, and Xiao Bai sprang out of it. Hyo-yu's face lit up as if the beast had specially fought death and come back for him. Of course, a guy can dream. He was glad to know that the magical beast was still alive. Hyo-yu commands his men to hurry up and catch the beast. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a whip curls around Hyo-yu's leg, and he panics to death when he comes to know that it was Xiao Lang who did it. Xiao Lang slowly comes out of the cave and tells Hyo-yu that God would never allow him to die alone, and so he was offered a vine whip to make Hyo-yu his companion. Although Xiao Lang hated Hyo-yu, but what's better than dying with one's enemy? The first thing Hyo-yu does is that he tries to calm down Xiao Lang, and he suggests that they have a nice talk. Next, he tries to bribe him by saying that he'll give Xiao Lang whatever he wants and pleading with him to let him go. This guy could just cut off the whip. Here, Xiao Lang gets excited by the offer, and he actually has a good idea. The next moment, he pulls the vine whip and promises Hyo-yu that they'll have a good talk down there. Hyo-yu went straight down the cave, leaving all his men shit sacred. Again, there's pin drop silence all around. Everything was literally over. Game over. Just then, someone calls out for Xiao Lang from behind. A rescue team from Huofeng City arrives at the scene. One of Hyo-yu's men pleads with the Lord to rescue Mr. Hyo-yu. He complains to the Lord, saying that Hyo-yu was dragged by Xiao Lang into the bottomless cave, and he endlessly pleads with the Lord to rescue Hyo-yu. Kyan Kun yells at him, telling him to shut up, and kicks him badly. This man falls straight to the ground with a thud. Kyan Kun gives a death stare to the other men standing there, and then walks over to the one he kicked earlier. Kyan Kun holds him by his neck and clarifies that Hyo-Yu's life has nothing to do with him. He then asks about his lord's whereabouts. Kyan Kun strangles him even harder and asks him where Xiao Lang is. This man seems to be dumb, so he looks back at the other people. These people are also too shocked to speak. Kyan Kun is so done with these dumb people, and for the last time, he threatens this man whose life is dangling in his hands. He tells him that if he doesn't tell him where Xiao Lang is, Kyan Kun will definitely kill him. After several warnings, Hyo-Yu's subordinate finally tells Kyan Kun that both Hyo-Yu and Xiao Lang fell into the bottomless cave. Kyan Kun at last got to know how fucked up this situation was. He flings off that man, and he bumps into the ground. Kyan Kun realizes that it's the damn bottomless cave. Even Xiao Ba would find it hard to come out of it alive. He concludes that the hope of his lord still being alive is quite dim. Kyan Kun unsheathes his sword and decides that he'll kill himself because he failed and couldn't protect his lord. He keeps the sword on his neck, but he stops right there. Hang on, he could die anytime. But there's one method that was worth trying to save his lord. Lord Xiao was back, and Kyan Kun knew about it. He decides to report what happened to Xiao Lang to Xiao Ba right now. He was sure that they'd dispatch a rescue team as soon as possible. In this way, Xiao Lang could be rescued. Now that he had a plan, Kyan Kun hurries to notify Xiao Ba, and he disappears in no time. Hyo-Yu's subordinates suddenly feel betrayed as Kyan Kun just vanished like that in thin air. The very next moment, they have some company again. It's Hyo-Lai who came in a hurry to search for Hyo-Yu. He asks the subordinates about Hyo-Yu's whereabouts, and this guy is really angry. The men first kneel down in front of Hyo-Lai and then inform him that Hyo-Yu was assassinated by Xiao Lang. One of them trembles in fear and tells Hyo-Lai that both of them fell into the bottomless cave. Hyo-Lai is dumbfounded when he hears this, and he slowly tries to comprehend the situation. Now that Hyo-Yu has been murdered, Hyo-Lai declares that his men should die with him too. Hyo-Lai attacks one of them, and that man couldn't stand the blow, and he dies. Next, the other two hold each other and look at their deputy castellan with the hope that he'll let them go. But they were wrong. One more attack, and he sends both of them to hell. Hyo-Lai looks extremely disappointed, and he takes out a signal firelight. He then declares that Hyo-Yu has been assassinated by Xiao Lang and announces that the castellan has to be informed right now so they can rescue him with all their efforts. The next, Hyo-Lai exclaims that all the disciples in the Fakesu Martial Arts Academy must be jailed. Moreover, other martial arts academies should also stop their activities and wait for an order from the castellan. The disciples of the Fakesu Martial Arts Academy are put up straight into the prison, and they are guarded by flames. Sidu Janshin had different plans, and according to him, Xiao Lang should have been killed. But now things were totally messed up. He was arrested because Xiao Lang is alive. Janshin wonders if Xiao Lang really killed Hyo-Yu. Meanwhile, the guards had caught a woman and they were ill-treating her. The lady kept yelling at them to let go of her. This lady was none other than Liu Ya. She argued with the guards, saying that she could walk all by herself, but they threatened to kill her if she wouldn't shut up. One of the guards pushed her straight into the prison of flames and warned her to stay inside. He also tells Liu Ya to pray for the safety of Hyo-Yu, otherwise she will be killed. One of the disciples asked Liu Ya whether she was fine. Liu Ya was physically okay, but she was quite disturbed mentally. Bu Xiao Man is stunned to see that these people have even captured Madame Ya. Liu Ya hurries towards Bu Xiao Man and asks her if she knows where Xiao Lang is and what has happened. Bu Xiao Man seemed to be extremely dejected, as she didn't know either. She informs Madame Ya that they were brought here after the deputy castellan made an announcement to arrest all of them. Sidu Janshin, out of nowhere, enters the conversation and claims that Xiao Lang should be blamed for all this that is happening. It was Xiao Lang who insisted on offending Hyo-Yu and his family, and now they'll have to die with him. Liu Ya was about to confront Janshin when another disciple told them that he had informed the King of Medicine with the hope that he could retrieve the situation for them. Liu Ya finally controls her anger and sends a telepathic message to Xiao Lang in which she asks him to take care of himself. Here, one of the subordinates is showing the collection of the new beasts to Lord Scar. Once the beast opens its eyes, it looks even more terrifying. Suddenly, the beast starts growling, as if something had provoked it. Lord Scar wonders what was wrong with it and why it reacted so violently. The very next moment, a guard informs Lord Scar that someone is coming in without being invited, and suddenly everything starts making sense. Lord Scar gets furious when he learns that there's an intruder getting in and wonders who dared to act like this. A man enters trembling awfully and he greets Lord Scar. He recognizes the man instantly and addresses him as Lord Kyan. Kyan Kun leans on Lord Scar, and he is in a terrible condition. Lord Scar inquires about his state and asks him why he is so frail. Kyan Kun asks him to initiate the secret enchantment and help him out. He informs Lord Scar to tell Lord Ba that Xiao Lang has fallen into the bottomless cave. Hearing the news, Lord Scar is worried about Xiao Lang, who has gotten into trouble. He immediately orders his men to initiate the secret enchantment and inform Lord Ba about it. In the Imperial City, Lord Xiao seems to be back, and unexpectedly, a lot of people want to visit him. Some of them have been waiting for a long time, whereas some of them are willing to wait, even if it takes years for them to meet Lord Xiao. But here, the only problem was that they were not sure if Lord Xiao wanted to meet them. Actually, they may be right, no one knew when the door would open or whether it would open or not. After some time, there are some movements, and one of them points out saying that the door is opening. They assumed that it would be Lord Xiao, and they eagerly anticipated a meeting. A man steps out of the door, and they recognize that it's Lord Bu Huo. Lord Bu Huo addresses the crowd and pleads for everyone to pay attention. He then thanks everyone for coming and notifies them that Lord Xiao is just back, so he needs a good rest. Lord Bu Huo lets them know that Lord Xiao appreciates their care, and he politely asks them to go back home. He also promises that they'll pay each and every one a special visit and thank them personally for their care. The people who were waiting for Lord Xiao were instantly disappointed, but they respected his commands and decided to go back home. They also ask Lord Bu Huo to convey their best wishes to Lord Xiao. That's how they head off on their respectful paths peacefully. Meanwhile, no one knows what's going on, and Lord Xiao is seen walking over to a grave, where he pays a visit to the tombstone. Lord Xiao seems to be worrying about something, and his men kneel down in fear. He walks over to the tombstone, raises his hand, and touches it with affection. Surprisingly, it is the grave of his beloved son. King Dai and Xiao Busi had never expected that one day he would see him off the world. Xiao Busi was totally heartbroken at this moment, and he swore to find out those who killed his son. Xiao Busi is determined to find them and end their lives one by one. Lord Xiao's men seem to be suffering in silence, and then he turns around. All of them bow to him, as they are not sure about what will happen next. Lord Xiao ultimately breaks the silence and asks them where are King Yi and his grandson. Xiao Ba buries his head even deeper, and he debates with himself whether he should tell Lord Xiao about Ms. King Yi and Xiao Lang. This man is unable to arrive at a conclusion. Lord Xiao patiently awaits an answer, but no one comes forward to say anything. Not a single soul is ready to open their mouth, and that's when the old man loses it. Lord Xiao gets heated and asks them to answer his question. He burns with anger, asking the same question again and again. This man gets enraged and throws a fit at them. Xiao Ba finally decides that he shouldn't keep quiet any longer and that it would be better to tell him. But before Xiao Ba opens his mouth, someone is ready to answer Lord Xiao's question. He successfully attracts Xiao Busi's attention, and Lord Xiao is all ears. The man who had attained Lord Xiao's attention respectfully informed him that after the death of Master King Dai, Lady King Yi disappeared with her son. He continues by saying that the family has been looking for them all these years, and they have tried to look for Lady King Yi many times, but she was firm in her decision and refused to go back. Lord Xiao abruptly tells him to stop right there, and he obeys him. Lord Xiao didn't care about the past events, he just wanted to know where they were now, and he asked the man if he knew about them. He shakes in fear and responds, saying that he doesn't know. Just then, Xiao Ba addressed the chief and told him that he knew where they were. Lord Xiao asks Xiao Ba to come forward and introduce himself. Xiao Ba greets Lord Xiao and tells him that he is Xiao Ba, the deacon of the Xiao family. He then informs Lord Xiao that Lady King Yi and young Master Xiao Lang are currently in Yawing City. The old man focuses on the information and learns that his grandson's name is Xiao Lang. He then asks Xiao Ba if they were all right. Xiao Ba tells him that Xiao Lang is extremely good. He is 17 years old and has reached the general level. He also informs Lord Xiao that his young master also killed 2 high-level generals. He is a young and talented boy, and he possesses good fighting abilities. The others are thrilled to know that Xiao Lang is only 17 years old, and he has already killed 2 high-level generals. They wondered how powerful he was. They conclude that young Master Xiao Lang can absolutely awaken the soul, and he will definitely make extraordinary achievements in the future. The old man is pleased to hear about his grandson's amazing deeds and exclaims that Xiao Lang deserves to be his grandson. Lord Xiao now demands to see his grandson, and Xiao Ba agrees to make the necessary arrangements. The very next moment, his metal batch buzzes, and Xiao Ba receives a strange message. He kneels down in front of Xiao Busey and apologizes. He then informs the chief that there's a news from Yaoing City saying that young Master Xiao Lang has fallen into the bottomless cave of the Sumeru Mountain and he needs help. The old man is shocked to hear this, and now he needs to act as soon as possible. Lord Xiao couldn't believe what he just heard. Xiao Ba kneels down before his chief and awaits his command. Lord Xiao calls out for Xiao Fudu, and he quickly stands up. Xiao Fudu seems to be ready to accept any instructions readily. Lord Xiao orders him to lead 100 blood guards to Yaoing City and pick up King Yi and her grandson now. With anger in his eyes, Lord Xiao adds up, saying that if his grandson is killed, Xiao Fudu needs to find out who's behind it and kill all his family members. Regardless of which family it is, Lord Xiao orders Xiao Fudu to kill them all. Xiao Fudu accepted his orders, and they began to move. Lord Xiao then turns around and asks Xiao Ba to lead the way. They head toward their destination swiftly. In the city of Yaoing, the pedestrians notice something weird flying in the sky. One of them soon recognizes that it's the double-winged evil dragon. They were Xiao's blood guards. Meanwhile, the scenario in the bottomless cave gets kind of exciting. Huoyu, who was said to have been assassinated, suddenly opens his eyes. This guy is in terrible pain. He opens his eyes and wonders if he is dead. Huoyu can be really foolish. Moreover, he is stuck amid the whips in the cave, and he's injured too. Soon this guy realizes that he's alive, and he finally rejoices. Huoyu wasn't dead yet, and he was very sure that God had helped him. Hang on, he wasn't the only one whom God had saved. Xiao Lang was alive too. Xiao Lang smirks and lets out an evil laugh. He slowly takes out a sharp knife, and he already has a plan. Tut tut. Xiao Lang was annoyed as he saw that Huoyu wasn't dead yet, and he tried to make Huoyu aware of his presence. Huoyu gets startled at once, and he wants to know who's down there. Xiao Lang taunts him, saying that he has short memories and that he has already forgotten about him. Xiao Lang tells him that he can't believe that he's not dead either. He had prepared a knife for himself, but now the same knife will be used on him. Hearing about this dreadful plan, Huoyu began to panic. He asks Xiao Lang to make any request he wants right now, whether he wants money or women, and Huoyu is ready to give him irrespective of the quantity. Huoyu was at his service, but he only needed to put that knife away. He begs him to take that knife back. Just then, there was some kind of movement up there. Someone called out for Huoyu. It was none other than Huo Lai. Huo Lai had come all the way along, well prepared, to search for Huoyu. He bent down and asked where Huoyu was. Huoyu learns that it's his uncle and screams loudly for help. He lets his uncle know that he is alive down there. As soon as his uncle gets wind of it, Huo Lai hastily throws in an extended rope with a grappling hook. Huoyu is almost attacked by the grappling hook, and terror strikes him. Funny enough, Huo Lai asks Huoyu whether he is fine. At present, Xiao Lang couldn't kill Huoyu, but he could make him be the last man of his family line. This guy is pure evil. The very next moment, Xiao Lang strikes and cuts off Huoyu's essential reproductive body part, and Huoyu screams due to the agonizing pain. Huoyu then and there wanted to kill Xiao Lang, but he didn't have the strength to do so. On the contrary, Xiao Lang is satisfied with his actions, knowing that Huoyu will become the last man of his family line. He laughs out loud and thinks it's funny. Huo Lai threatens Xiao Lang, saying that he'll cut him into pieces. Xiao Lang wasn't sacred of such cockroaches, and he tells Huo Lai that if he wants revenge. Pause. Xiao Lang coolly let go of the vine whip he was hanging onto, and continues saying that Huo Lai should look for him in hell. Damn it. Huo Lai almost regrets as Xiao Lang leaves the whip he was hanging on. He almost forgot about Huoyu, who is still crying in pain. Huo Lai asks him if he's fine and assures him by saying that he's coming down to save him. After a while, Huo Lai finally gets a grip on Huoyu, who is almost done dealing with the pain. Huoyu tells his uncle that he only wants to kill Xiao Lang. Huoyu was burning in rage as he wished to skin him, chop him into pieces, and make Xiao Lang die like a dog. Huo Lai asks Huoyu to stop talking and puts a pill in his mouth. He tells him that they'll have to get out of this bottomless cave first, and Huo Lai promises him that he'll send someone down to find Xiao Lang. Huoyu lies down on the ground, and he's still in pain. He continues to cry, saying that it hurts a lot. There was actually a huge blood stain around his private parts. In this terrible condition, Huoyu lifts up his hand and asks his uncle, Huo Lai, to promise him that he'll surely avenge him. Huo Lai feels extreme pity for his little boy and tells him that he shouldn't worry as he'll surely avenge him. Abruptly, Huo Lai stands up and orders all his men to come down with him and find Xiao Lang in the bottomless cave. He fastens the rope on his waist and declares that Xiao Lang is wanted, dead or alive. Huo Lai and his men then jump into the bottomless cave. Down there, Xiao Lang lies on the ground. He gains consciousness and moves his hands over the grass. Next, he frowns and opens his eyes. Xiao Lang has landed in an unfamiliar place, and he wonders where he is. Xiao Lang gets up and realizes that he's not dead, he's still alive. He touches the grass and notices that it's glowing. He wonders what the reason behind this strange grass that glows is. Next up, he hears a flapping sound and quickly turns back to see who it is. Oh, it's Xiao Bai. Xiao Lang couldn't believe his eyes that Xiao Bai was here. He was happy to see his companion was alright. But then Xiao Lang had asked Xiao Bai to escape. Hang on, Xiao Bai seems to be kind of creepy. Xiao Lang asks him whether something happened. Abruptly, the grass behind him moves and Xiao Bai gets furious. Xiao quickly turns around as he almost comprehends the situation. Yes, the weird grass was ready to trap him, and before he could get away, Xiao Lang was caught. The grass wraps up Xiao Lang like a mere piece of meat. Oh crap, this grass is really sick as it likes kidnapping people. It seems that the grass could hear Xiao Lang and it was taking revenge on him. The glowing grass tightly wraps itself around Xiao Lang and he couldn't get it off no matter what he does. These grass vines were extremely strong and Xiao Lang was unable to break out. He struggles and struggles, but all in vain. And now the grass starts glowing. It gets hot inside and Xiao Lang feels like he is melting. He wonders why this grass is heating up. After the heat, now the grass starts contracting. Looks like it was strangling Xiao Lang to death. When it tightens up even more, Xiao Lang knew that this was the end, and he announces his last wish, saying that he wishes to be reborn into this world. He hasn't even been able to grow and dominate this world, but now that he was going to die at the hands of these vines. Xiao Lang rolls and rolls on the ground. In the end, he feels that his soul has come out of his body and it's leaving. Xiao Lang just gives up after struggling for a long time and falls unconscious. When he wakes up, he finds that all his wounds have healed up. Well, Xiao Lang thought that this grass was going to eat him alive, but ultimately it turned out that it was saving him. Xiao Lang then notices that the part around his foot is getting tighter and tighter. He tries to move and realizes that something is wrong. Xiao Lang is unable to pull it off. He notices that something huge was approaching him. Holy Mother of God. Xiao Lang thought that the strange glowing grass wanted to save him, but it turns out that it was just cleaning him up before feeding him to this damn guy. He was furious as he felt betrayed. The huge monster wriggles around and Xiao Lang gets a signal that he must get away quickly. Damn it, the grass starts wrapping around him again, and now the grass lifts Xiao Lang. He knew that it was all over now. This time he was really going to die as he couldn't escape at all. Yet he struggles to unwrap the grass. Xiao Lang gives himself a pep talk and tries to remain calm as he believes that he can get out of this situation. Yes, he can. The grass lifts Xiao Lang higher and higher. This evil grass definitely has some plans. Xiao Lang finally understands that the monster was trying to eat his soul and snatch away his body. This was not good. Now that he knew the end was near, Xiao Lang started his dying rituals. Xiao Lang declared that even if he dies like this, he refuses to become a walking corpse. Next moment, the formation made around him bursts open and Xiao Lang falls free on the ground. Here, at the Sidhu family residence, the royalty has gathered a brief meeting. They blame the Sidhu family and regard them as worthless. They pass on the message saying that the city lord ordered that Xiao Lang and his family should be killed, but now there was not even a trace of him that could be found. The Sidhu family couldn't even capture the ones around him. Sidhu Yuxing asks the Lord to calm down and clarifies that they weren't aware of the fact that the people from the Drizzle Villa would come and take them away. With their strength alone, they were unable to compare with the Drizzle Villa. The Lord bangs his hand on the table with anger. He wasn't ready to accept that a small Drizzle Villa dared to go against them. Then, the Lord fiercely declares everyone to gather their men as they'll burn them to the ground. Sidhu Yuxing agrees at once and promises to prepare whatever was needed. Now that he had the support of the people in Huofeng City, Yuxing was confident about this mission where he could not only destroy the Drizzle Villa but he could also build up relations with the Huofeng family. Here, in the Drizzle Villa, a subordinate requests the lady to leave quickly as they were already late. They have received reports which inform them that the three families have already prepared and were ready to destroy their Drizzle Villa. Xiao Qingyi calmly listens to what he says. The subordinate adds up saying that currently, the 8 Master isn't present and with their forces, they don't have the ability to stop this crisis. So he had a clear solution: they should first escape and hide. Xiao Qingyi gets annoyed at this statement and she opposes it, saying that they need not hide as it's only a group of clowns that can't do any harm. The subordinate kneels down and starts begging the lady to leave quickly. Next up, he threats her, saying that if she refuses to leave, then he'll kill himself. He keeps the knife on his throat and is ready to cut himself. Xiao Qingyi looks at him in confusion, but she was certain about not running away from this situation. While solving the problem with her subordinate, Xiao Qingyi gets some more information. The report says that approximately 200 troops from the 3 great families have surrounded the villa. The subordinate kneels down again and pleads with Xiao Qingyi to allow him to get her out of here. Xiao Qingyi gets furious, and now she demands to see who dares to run wild in front of her. She asks Xiao Dao to help her out. The subordinate tries to stop here, but it's over. Xiao Qingyi is obstinately clinging to one's course. Now that she was being extremely willful, nothing could be done. They knew that they were all going to die, but Xiao Qingyi exclaims that who is dead is not yet known. Outside the Drizzle Villa, the troops were gathered waiting for the Xiao family to surrender. Sidu Yuxing announces that they don't have any grievances with the 8th master, but they couldn't understand why they were protecting Xiao Lang's family. He gives them a chance to hand them over, otherwise they'll have to come in and kill all of them. Moreover, if any civilians are hurt by mistake, Sidu Yuxing shouldn't be blamed for being ruthless. When there's no response from the Xiao family, the royalty interferes with the matter, saying that the Drizzle Villa is nothing great, and he couldn't believe that they would be so afraid. The Lord commands Sidu Yuxing to go and get the Xiao family, and nobody would harm him as he was with the royalty. Sidu Yuxing instantly agrees with the Lord, and he immediately orders his men to kill all of them. Just then the door creaks open and Yuxing orders everyone to wait. They eagerly look up to see who is coming to fight them. The door opens up fully and 2 figures appear coming out of the house. It's Xiao Qingyi and Xiao Dao, and they look as if they could destroy their enemies in one go. Now that the Xiao family had showed up, Sidu Yuxing feels that it seems that they have come to their senses now. He declares that the Xiao family people can die without suffering much. Xiao Qingyi finally guesses it right. Yes, something has definitely happened to Langer. The Huo family, the Sidu family, the Bu family, and the Liu family had all gathered here. Xiao Qingyi makes a statement saying that if Langer dies, she will let their 4 families be buried in the ground alongside him. The people gathered around to think that she is an extremely arrogant woman. The Lord recognizes Xiao Qingyi as Xiao Lang's lame aunt. He tells her that she does have good looks, but unfortunately, she fails to appreciate one's kindness. Xiao Qingyi is informed about how Xiao Lang plotted against their young master and has been killed by them. He also advises her to be sensible, otherwise she won't be allowed to die easily. Qingyi gets really anxious when she hears that Langer is dead. Even Xiao Dao refuses to believe that his brother is dead. The royalty decides to interfere and informs the Xiao family that Xiao Lang has offended young master Huo Feng, and now he doesn't deserve to live. He demands to put a stop to all this nonsense and gets to the point of capturing Xiao Qingyi and Xiao Dao. The troops surround them, but they don't move ahead. Sidu Yuxing asks them what happened and why they stopped. Damn, there's an earthquake. Wait, no. It's all happening because of Xiao Dao, who was trembling so badly. He was certain that his brother can't die. Abruptly, his condition gets worse and his hand starts growing bigger. After a few seconds, Xiao Dao turns into a huge monster. The troops that were surrounding the Xiao family now started scattering and running for their lives. The huge Xiao Dao gets furious and blames them, saying that they killed his brother. He was determined to get revenge for his brother Xiao Lang. Even the royalty couldn't figure out what kind of monster this was. He urges the people to go and fight the monster. In addition, the royalty informs the people, saying that he will kill those who go against him. The troops get back and get ready to fight Xiao Dao. The subordinate reminds his young master Xiao Dao to be careful, and the attack begins. The royalty notices that Xiao Dao uses his own body to fight against the Kai attacks and wonders why he's such a fool. But he soon realizes that this guy has turned into a monster. No one knew what happened to Xiao Dao, but they all witnessed his transformation and immense power. Xiao Dao tears his opponents into pieces and waits for the next one. The people around try to scream and run away from the monster, but no one saves them. Xiao Dao kills everyone who is in his way. Sidu Yuxing wonders what kind of a monster this is, as Xiao Dao could transform his body and become impervious to a sword or spear. Damn, he didn't know what to do, but he wanted them to die either way. Yuxing orders his people to step aside, as he was now determined to deal with Xiao Dao. Sidu Yuxing clarifies, saying that he is their opponent and that they should fight against him. Just then, Xiao Qingyi, who was already so furious, begins to vent her anger out. A blue light swirls around her and Sidu Yuxing almost guesses what is happening. This phenomenon that appeared was a very strange blade. Damn, Xiao Qingyi is a spirit warrior. Fortunately, Sidu Yuxing has devil's power. Moreover, he notices that it's just a broken blade, so now he has nothing to be afraid of. Sidu Yuxing is ready to attack as he doesn't care who she is. He wants her to just go to hell. But before sending Xiao Qingyi to hell, it was his turn to have a tour first. Xiao Qingyi attacks Sidu Yuxing and scatters the living crap out of him. She then looks at his condition and smiles at him creepily. Xiao Qingyi gets extremely wild, and this drives her power to the next level. The royalty comprehends the situation, and now they know that this is a heaven-ranked divine spirit, a bloody demon blade. Well, she is none other than the bloody demon, Xiao Qingyi. Finally, people recognized her. It was Lady Qingyi, and they have found her. Now that the lady was in trouble, the Xiao family announces everyone to get ready to attack. The bloody demons were ever ready to spring on their enemies. The royal family representative clenches his fist as he learns that it's the Xiao family. They knew that they were not enemies, and they decide to flee away. Oh wait, the royalty stops right away and they freeze. They spot a fierce man killing the men gathered there. The representatives tremble in fear, wondering why he is here. This man is the slaughter god, Xiao Fudu, and now the opponent guys are done for. Xiao Fudu seems to be mad at the people as they dared to hurt the lady. He swears to wipe out their entire clan. The situation takes a drastic turn after Xiao Fudu enters. The crowd constantly shakes in fear, and they soon realize that that woman is the Xiao family's young lady. Xiao Fudu gets extremely wild and passes the orders to kill all of them. He then walks towards Xiao Qingyi and approaches her to pay his respect to the young lady. Xiao Fudu bends down in respect and greets Xiao Qingyi. The people continue to tremble in fear as they knew that now everything was over. They never would have thought about such a situation where they would face the Xiao family's young lady and Xiao Fudu together. They kept wondering why it had to be both of them. Yes, they were totally done for. These people have provoked someone that should never be provoked. After paying respect, Xiao Fudu apologizes to Xiao Qingyi because he arrived late and failed her. He begs her to punish him for this sin. Xiao Qingyi doesn't say anything and she turns around. She then asks Xiao Fudu whether he still considers her as the young lady of the Xiao family. Xiao Qingyi also inquires about her father and asks if he has come out of seclusion. Xiao Fudu responds to her saying that the patriarch has already returned to the Xiao family yesterday. Moreover, it was the patriarch who tasked Xiao Fudu to bring Xiao Qingyi and Xiao Lang back. Upon hearing Xiao Lang's name, Xiao Qingyi orders Xiao Fudu to hurry up and take her to the Zumai mountain as Langer has fallen into the bottomless pit. With one whistle, the bloody demons rush towards the Xiao family. Next up, Xiao Fudu asks Xiao Qingyi what they should do with those crazy people down there. Xiao Qingyi orders him to kill the people from the Huo family, and as for the rest of them, she orders to capture them all. In case Langer would be found dead, then every single one of them would be killed. Xiao Fudu orders Xiao Shan to do as the lady commands. He further instructs Xiao Shan to take 30 people and remain here. The rest of the men would accompany Xiao Fudu. Xiao Shan rogers it, and he's determined to kill all those who must be killed and capture all those who must be captured. The representatives of the royalty try hard to escape, but Xiao Shan notices them immediately. With one bang, that guy is done for and a pool of blood surrounds his dead body. Here, Lord Xiao Ba is completely annoyed and wonders if Kaiyan Zun is dead. He screams and scares the subordinate and asks him to pass on a message to Kaiyan Zun that if he's not dead, tell him to come out and see him. The subordinate shakes in fear and informs Xiao Ba that after Kaiyan Zun returned and delivered the message, he rushed back to the bottomless pit overnight. Kaiyan Zun said that if the young master Xiao Lang was not dead, he would fight to save him. Moreover, he pledged, saying that if the young master is dead, Kaiyan Zun would return to the Xiao family to take his own life. Xiao Ba, who was already furious, was now confused as he heard that Kaiyan Zun would take his own life. The 8th Lord exactly knows that if the young master Xiao Lang is dead, let alone Kaiyan Zun, even Xiao Ba and the subordinate along with everyone else within the villa would have to return to the Xiao family and slit their own throats and die. At the Zumai mountain, the Huo family guards were busy doing their job when suddenly they heard something strange. This weird thing had some super speed skills. Soon, the guards spot the man and inquire about him in detail. They couldn't stand him and asked him to get lost. This man shows the guards the Huo family symbol and asks them if they were blind. He also suggests that if their eyes were useless, he would gouge them out. They instantly bow to the Lord and explain that they were ordered to guard this area, and that they weren't notified of his arrival. The guards quickly apologize as they failed to recognize his lordship. This lord was quite annoyed, but it seemed that he has something important to do, otherwise he would have killed them all. Without any further delay, the Lord orders them to get a rope ready as he desires to head down immediately. The guards quickly get the ropes ready and the Lord jumps down the bottomless pit. After this, the guards wonder about which Lord this was as a group has already gone down there. Anyways, it didn't concern them as they just do their work according to the different tokens. Instead of breaking their head on this matter, they decide to forget about him and continue their break. Down here, the Lord who just jumped down into the bottomless pit wishes that the young master must not die. He reveals himself and he's none other than Kyan Zun. He knows very well that if Xiao Lang is dear, not only would he die, but the 8th master would also be involved. Next up, Huo, who along with his men were busy looking for Xiao Lang and they wonder if he was able to fly out of this pit. Huo, who knew that Xiao Lang's magical beast wasn't mature and that it wouldn't be able to fly him out of here. So the next thought that came to Huo who's mind was that if Xiao Lang was still alive or not. Just then, a subordinate informs Commander Huo who that they have discovered Xiao Lang's location, which was just ahead. Huo who orders his men to take him there, and as soon as they reach that area, Huo who seems to be in a deep shock. Huo who glares at the rare phenomenon that lies in front of him. He observes the wild grass that holds Xiao Lang up high in the air. Huo who comes back to his senses and wonders what this is. He had never seen grass that could move. Here the grass was busy wriggling and squirming around freely. On the other hand, Huo who wasn't sure whether this person was dead or alive, so it was best to be careful. He then orders 2 of his men to go up and cut Xiao Lang's head off. The 2 of them try to comprehend the command and look at each other as they knew that it was not possible to win over the person who was lying up there. They try to approach Xiao Lang but stop midway. They seem to be extremely scared and the situation gets tense. One of them pushes the other and asks him to go first. The other one suggests that they should go together or they would definitely die. Both of them agree and do as decided. They jump towards Xiao Lang and yell at him to go to hell. Here, Xiao Lang was least aware of what was happening, but as soon as Huo who's men try to attack him, the glowing grass protects Xiao Lang and it fights back. The grass literally pierced through both of the attackers and killed them right away. Huo who and his men couldn't believe their eyes. Huo who's men start screaming and shouting and they began to run for their lives. But no one could really escape. The grass attacks everyone around it mercilessly. Lastly, it was Huo who's turn and he starts running for his precious life and the creepy grass follows him with pure bad intentions. Huo who was determined that he won't die like this. He plays badly with his men as he is the commander and they are his subordinates. According to Huo who, they were obliged to take his place in hell. He pushes his subordinates to die and then he wonders if this is over. Hang on, this is just the start. Huo who was kind of surprised to see that the creepy grass was still coming at him. At this moment he wanted God to save him as he didn't want to die. But no, this grass wasn't going to spare any enemies today. The grass sucks every bit of soul out of Huo who's body. Once the place was safe enough, Xiao Lang opens his eyes. He looks around and is astonished to see the dead bodies around him. Xiao Lang wonders what happened here and the only question on his mind was that whether he killed these people. Xiao Lang couldn't believe that he was still alive. Moreover, the fatal wounds that he had received had been completely healed. Next up, he hears Xiao Bai's voice who readily approaches him. Xiao Lang seems to be quite happy as he learns that Xiao Bai is also alright. He asks Xiao Bai to come down to see if they could find a way out of here. Xiao Bai was yet angry with Xiao Lang and the beast soon changes his form to a horse. Xiao Bai lovingly walks towards Xiao Lang and he pets his cute beast. Xiao Lang apologizes for worrying him for a long time and strokes Xiao Bai. By then, someone spots Xiao Lang and Xiao Bai and this person calls out to his young master. Xiao Lang takes a glance at him and he seems to be confused. Kyan Zun couldn't believe that the person he was looking at is really the young master Xiao Lang. This was indeed great. Kyan Zun asks Xiao Lang if he is alright. Kyan Zun didn't even wait for a damn reply and the very next moment he got so emotional that Kyan Zun caught Xiao Lang's leg and started crying loudly. He was so happy to find his young master alive. He was also grateful to God as his young master finally opened his eyes. Xiao Lang was surprised to see Kyan Zun behaving like this. Xiao Lang was embarrassed and he asks his big brother Kyan Zun to get up first. Xiao Lang then ignores his cries and asks Kyan Zun his purpose for coming here to the bottomless pit. Kyan Zun tells him that it's a long story and that they should head up first. Up there, the bells clang loudly indicating help. The guards become alert and hurry up to pull the rope as someone's coming up. They were kind of surprised that the people were coming up so soon. They finally notice that the Lord has found Xiao Lang so quickly. The Lord was certain that this youngster Xiao Lang couldn't escape capture for him and announces that all of them will be rewarded for their rewards. The guards were rejoicing and they seemed to be happy as Xiao Lang would now become the city lord's personal punching bag. Qianzun carefully carries Xiao Lang and helps him sleep on the horse. He then informs the guards that he will take Xiao Lang back first and asks them to stay here only. They bow to the Lord, but they strongly doubted that there's something fishy going on. One of the guards observes that the direction the Lord was heading in is actually opposite to the city. They discuss about it and conclude that maybe he is going to meet up with some other lords. Just then, the guards spot the magical beast. They soon realize that they have been fooled as the Lord is not from their family. The guards rush to notify the city lord. Here, Xiao Lang comprehends the situation and informs Big Brother Qianzun that those guards have found them out quickly as they were now following them. Xiao Lang and Qianzun decide to speed up, or else the guards will catch up to them soon. They further analyze the situation and conclude that it would be best if they split up, as they were actually looking for Xiao Lang. Qianzun was sure that if they split up, his young master could be in danger, so he didn't agree to this plan. If anything happens, he should be the one to die. Xiao Lang was Qianzun's priority. Compared to his young master, his life was nothing. Abruptly, some powerful-looking man lands down right in front of them and blocks their way. He had huge wings, and the scene was on fire. Qianzun demanded to know who this person was. The very next moment, the man standing in front of them regards them as rebels and accuses them of hurting his son. This man was getting extremely furious, and he invited both Xiao Lang and Qianzun to come and die. Qianzun immediately recognizes that this man is the city lord, Huofeng. Damn, Huofeng had caught up to them faster than he had thought. Qianzun tries to protect the young master, and Huofeng frowns at this gesture. Qianzun knew that the strength of the city lord couldn't be underestimated, and Xiao Lang was no match for him. He was sure that he couldn't put his young master in danger. Huofeng raises his hand, points out at Xiao Lang, and tries to confirm his identity. Xiao Lang stares back at him furiously. Qianzun acts quickly and blocks Xiao Lang's Kai force, disabling his ability to fight back. Xiao Lang wonders what this brat is up to. That's when Qianzun declares that he is Xiao Lang. Qianzun confronts the old man, telling him that his son is despicable and shameless. Moreover, Huoyu was the one who brought harm to the others. Qianzun adds up, saying that now Huofeng doesn't need to worry about gaining an equally despicable and shameless grandson, as this event can be recorded as a great benefit for his family. Xiao Lang understands the depth of the insult, and now that they are already sworn enemies, Qianzun provokes Huofeng by calling him an old fool. He knew that Huofeng wanted to kill him. Huofeng finally gets furious and yells at Qianzun, saying that he is seeking death. The city lord has decided to end the existence of Qianzun, whom he thinks is Xiao Lang, and Qianzun wasn't aware of the fact that his end was so near. Qianzun experienced how fast Huofeng set out his attack, and he couldn't believe that Huofeng had reached this level. As soon as Huofeng attacks him, Qianzun uses the Traverse Flash attack, and he was certain that he could do it. He indeed has a speed spirit, and he should be able to throw Huofeng away in full swing. But Qianzun wasn't successful, and he wondered how this happened. Huofeng had already seen through his tactics, and Qianzun couldn't get rid of him using the speed spirit. But Qianzun wasn't going to give up so easily. He was determined to fight him to the end. Now the ninth heaven was against the wind, and according to Huofeng, Qianzun didn't deserve the honor of fighting against him. With one last damaging attack, Huofeng makes Qianzun spit out blood. Qianzun is thrown away by force, and Xiao Lang comes to his rescue. Both of them are pushed back due to the efficiency of the force, and they cough out blood. Xiao Lang asks Qianzun if he is okay. Qianzun apologizes, as he couldn't protect his young master. Xiao Lang insists that he should stop talking and tells Qianzun to hold on, as he'll help him get up. Huofeng realizes that Qianzun has a speed spirit, so he cannot be Xiao Lang, as Xiao Lang has no speed spirit at all. But now it doesn't matter, as Huofeng wants both of them to know that living is no better than dying. He wanted them to blame themselves for offending the wrong person. Yes, Xiao Lang hated the fact that he was not strong enough and that his spirit hadn't yet awakened. Above all, Xiao Lang hated the fact that he couldn't kill Huofeng. On hearing this statement, Huofeng seemed to be shocked. After a while, Huofeng lets out a creepy smile and tells Xiao Lang that he reminds him of one thing. And so, Huofeng decides that he won't kill them now. Xiao Lang couldn't make out what this old man, Huofeng, wanted to do. Here, Huofeng did remember something important, and so he sarcastically thanks Xiao Lang for reminding him about it. Huo Feng declares that he has decided to kill them first and let them know about his son's pain. And from now on, Huo Feng decides to spend his whole life killing all of their clansmen. Xiao Lang gets anxious by looking at this crazy man and wonders if he is really going to die here. Just then, there's a huge chaos, and the deadly blood dragons start surrounding them. Both Huo Feng and Xiao Lang were surprised to see this scenario. Huo Feng soon realizes that these are the black dragons of the Xiao family. Surprisingly, the dragons had company, and a deep voice approached Huo Feng, asking him whether he wanted to kill all his clansmen. A proud man stands right in front of Huo Feng and confirms if Huo Feng is sure that he can do what he says. This man also offers to kill Huo Feng first before he can do anything else. Huo Feng recognizes him as the Abyss Black Dragon with a heavenly soul, the decider of hell, Xiao Fudu. He instantly steps back when he learns that this guy, Xiao Lang, is from the Xiao family. Huo Feng then rises up in the air and asks Fudu why he said something like this. There wasn't any misunderstanding between them. Xiao Lang was confused, and he wanted to know who this man was and why Huo Feng was so scared. Next up, someone calls out to Xiao Lang, and, oh, it's his aunt, Xiao Qingyi. Xiao Lang happily runs toward his aunt and kneels in front of her. Firstly, he quickly apologizes to his aunt, as he made her worry about him. Xiao Qingyi, on the other hand, was glad that Xiao Lang was alright. As long as he was fine, nothing else mattered. Xiao Dao comes forward to greet his brother, and after this, the blood guards kneel down, showing their respect. They greet their young master, and to be honest, Xiao Lang isn't accepting all this. Huo Feng takes a step back again when he realizes that Xiao Lang is really the young master of the Xiao family. Damn, now he's in big trouble, and he has to get out of here first. As soon as he tries to run away, Xiao Fudu stops Huo Feng. Xiao Fudu was still stuck on the same topic where Huo Feng declared that he would wipe out the whole clan of the Xiao family. Xiao Fudu asks him again if he is going to do it all by himself. He also adds up an option and tells Huo Feng that even he could personally kill him. Huo Feng gets mad at him and warns Xiao Fudu not to push him too far. It was Huo Feng's son who was hurt by Xiao Lang, so Xiao Fudu should be reasonable instead of being indiscriminate and acting so domineering. Huo Feng asks Xiao Fudu if he really thinks that the Xiao family could cover the sky. Xiao Fudu frowns at him and tells him to cut the crap. For the last time, Xiao Fudu asks Huo Feng if he was going to do it or if he wanted Xiao Fudu to do it. Huo Feng acts like an idiot and laughs loudly. He then jumps high and rises into the sky, ready to flee away. Huo Feng openly challenges Xiao Fudu to come to Huo Feng City if he can and kill him in front of all the people in the town. The very next moment, Huo Feng runs away for his life. Xiao Lang wondered if Xiao Fudu just let that man get away like this. Xiao Fudu smiles and calls Huo Feng a fool. He then orders the blood guards to go to Huo Feng City with him now. Xiao Lang keeps staring at those blood guards, and before he could ask his aunt what those creatures were, Xiao Qingyi also called Huo Feng an idiot. Huo Feng really thought that Xiao Fudu would have some scruples in Huo Feng City, and he indeed underestimated Xiao Fudu. Even if Xiao Fudu were in the Imperial City and he wanted to kill a person, he would never hesitate. Xiao Lang couldn't control his curiosity and wondered how domineering Xiao Fudu was. He also thought about how powerful the Xiao family was. By then, Xiao Qingyi has asked Xiao Lang to come with her to enjoy something really fun. At Huo Feng City, the guards were almost tired waiting for their lord to return. They knew that Huo Feng had gone out to deal with a mere kid, so they wondered what was taking him so long to come back. They were curious to know why the lord needed so many people to catch a kid. Suddenly, the guards spot their lord, Huo Feng, rushing towards them. They were happy for their lord, who was back. They even thought that they had gotten their revenge and that now they could relax. But then one of the guards notices something creepy behind Huo Feng. Well, it looks like the enemy has been following their lord all the way back home. Next up, Huo Feng calls out to the guards and notifies them about the enemies. He asks them to get ready for a battle. Huo Feng then announces that he will reward those who play an outstanding part in the battle. But for those who are afraid to fight and try to run away from the battle, Huo Feng will kill their entire family. The guards hurry up and get ready for the battle, and after a while, both the parties stand facing each other. Xiao Fudu calls out to Huo Feng and asks him if he is ready to die. Huo Feng tells Xiao Fudu not to be too arrogant, as he is the castellan of this city. Xiao Fudu actually needs a lot of guts to dare to kill Huo Feng in front of the public. Besides, Xiao Fudu has reached the emperor level, and so does Huo Feng. Both of them have a heavenly soul. In short, they were on par when it came to strength. It was difficult to predict who would win when they fought. Huofeng didn't wish to initiate the fight, but if Xiao Fudu dared to start the fight, he would certainly accept it. Huofeng was also ready to go to the imperial city to ask whether the imperial family had changed its surname to Xiao in front of the leader of the Xiao family. At this moment, Xiao Fudu is so done with Huofeng's nonsense, and Huofeng gets furious at him for being honest. Xiao Fudu clarifies that there's no need for him to talk more nonsense, and then Xiao Fudu formally declares war on behalf of the Xiao family. He asks all irrelevant people to get out of here, otherwise, all of them will be regarded as the sworn enemies of the Xiao family. The people around couldn't believe that Xiao Fudu was actually going to do this, as he shouldn't be this arrogant. According to them, it was pure madness. One of them even heard that Lord Xiao gave out an order before he left saying that anyone who would hurt his grandson would suffer the massacre of a whole family. Oh, this was not good. They wondered if they all were going to die here with Huofeng. Amid the chaos, Xiao Fudu announces for the last time, asking the people to get out of here while they still have a chance. The guards have a quick discussion among themselves, and the very next moment they put down their weapons and run away. They apologize to the castellan as they couldn't go any further. Looking at the people running away like mere cowards, Huofeng declares that the deserters will be executed on the spot. Xiao Fudu laughs at Huofeng's condition and regards him as an old fool. He was certain that Huofeng would soon be left alone, and so Xiao Fudu offered him a quick death. Damn it. Now the only way out of this vicious trap would be to catch the snake by the head. Yes, now Huofeng could only accept the battle and fight back. Huofeng then calls out to Xiao Fudu and tells him to cut the crap and show him what he got. Great. This is what Xiao Fudu wanted, and now that Huofeng was willingly asking for it, Xiao Fudu gets going with his first attack, Soul Possession. He activates the flames and opens his eyes. Xiao Fudu heads toward his opponent at an undeniable speed, and Huofeng already gets anxious. The people gathered down there hoped that these two could reach a draw so that they could sit down and talk peacefully. They knew that if Xiao Fudu got killed in here, Lord Xiao would kill all of them. There were no other sounds than the loud booms coming from the great fighters. Xiao Lang, who observed the fight, was surprised to see the amount of intensity. Okay, so this was the Emperor's level of the Soul of Heaven. Xiao Lang observed their speed and power and wondered that it must require a lot of tiger power. Xiao Qingyi informs Xiao Lang that it's not the tiger power, but the dragon power. She adds up, saying that, to be exact, Xiao Fudu has almost 300 pounds of dragon power, whereas Huofeng has almost 240 pounds of dragon power. Xiao Lang understands it well. He desires to be 1,000 times better than them. The fight wasn't going on as hoped, and Huofeng was losing. Damn, Huofeng was certain that he would be killed by Xiao Fudu if this went on. It seems as if he has to make it over as soon as possible. Huofeng then uses his special skill of Prairie Fire. His men down there guessed it right that their lord was now using the soul fighting skill. It was at the heavenly soul level, and now they found some hope. Xiao Fudu notices the soul fighting skill, and yes, he has been waiting for this for a long time. Xiao Fudu then uses his dragon power and activates the Night Dagger. Huofeng soon realizes that his soul fighting skill does not affect Xiao Fudu at all. Xiao Fudu was someone who could do what others couldn't do. Next up, Xiao Fudu attacks Huofeng with the dagger and thrusts it into Huofeng's neck. After this, Xiao Fudu punches the city lord, and this seems to be the end of Huofeng's existence. Xiao Qingyi notices that Xiao Fudu used the Night Dagger, and now she was certain that Huofeng couldn't do anything. It seems that the battle is over. This was indeed sect killing. Xiao Lang looks up and observes the dragons roaring at each other, and one of them was definitely at a disadvantage. With loads of bashes and booms, Huofeng's body finally crashes down. Everyone watches in extreme silence and wonders if he is dead. Yes, the castellan of Huofeng City is dead. And this man, Xiao Fudu, was officially declared as a demon. They quickly kneel down and surrender to the demon. Xiao Fudu had clearly given them a chance, but they chose to disobey him. They have missed the chance, and now they all have to die. Xiao Fudu orders his men to kill everyone from Huofeng City present there. The people begin to run here, and they're constantly screaming for help. Xiao Lang wonders if Xiao Fudu was trying to kill all of them. Next up, Xiao Lang hears a carriage approaching him. A tall man gets off, and the people immediately recognize him as the king of medicine. They rush towards him and beg for help. The old man clears his throat and gets all the attention. He then addresses Xiao Fudu and asks him if he really wants to kill all of these people. Now that Huofeng was dead, he requests Xiao Fudu to let go of them for his sake. Xiao Fudu commands his men to keep killing, and this old man gets extremely frustrated. The king of medicine was well aware of the fact that Xiao Fudu was famous for being unreasonable, and he wondered what else he should do. That's when his eyes fell upon Xiao Lang. He turns around and asks Xiao Lang what he is doing here. The old man remembers that Xiao Lang's family name is Xiao. Yes, he was one of the members of the Xiao family. The old man pleads with Xiao Lang to stop his elders as too much killing was not good for his reputation. Xiao Lang comprehends the situation and gives a thumbs up to Mr. Mu. Xiao Lang asks his aunt if she could stop the killing, and Xiao Qingyi asks him to make the decision himself. Xiao Fudu overhears the conversation and orders his men to stop as Master Xiao Lang asked them to. Everyone immediately stops the killing, as said. Mr. Mu focuses on how Xiao Fudu addressed Xiao Lang as Master Lang. So Xiao Lang was really the young master of the Xiao family, and Xiao Fudu had to obey him. Mr. Mu knew that not long ago, Xiao Lang was almost killed by the Sidu family, and he wondered what was going on. He tells Xiao Lang that he had just gotten back from the Xiao family and he didn't know what was going on here. Xiao Lang ignores his questions and curiosity, and instead asks Mr. Mu where Liu Ye and the people from the Fei Zhu Martial Arts Academy were. One of the guards informs Xiao Lang that they were locked up in prison by the deputy castellan. On hearing this, Mr. Mu gets instantly angry and heads towards Xiao Fudu to tell him that he takes his words back and tells him to order his men to kill all of them. Xiao Fudu seems to be annoyed and then he asks Xiao Qingyi her opinion. Xiao Qingyi passes down the orders to get Liu Ye and the other people from the Fei Zhu Martial Arts Academy out. Here, the ones who were locked up were now set free, and they demanded to know who was leading the way and where they were going. Liu Ye knew that this man was from the Xiao family, but she couldn't guess why he was here. Mu Feiyu had noticed that the people of the Huo family were gone, and he wondered if they were okay now. On the other hand, Sidu Jianchen wondered who had saved them, and he was very interested to know if Xiao Lang was dead. After coming out of the prison, the disciples of the Fei Zhu Martial Arts Academy walked towards freedom, but very soon they stopped dead on the way. Liu Ye, Sidu Jianchen, and Mu Feiyu find a good number of dead bodies lying on their path. Liu Ye wondered what had happened here. Mu Feiyu was getting anxious seeing so many people dying here and he was worried about facing the same situation. Liu Ye doubted if this man had brought them here to kill them. She looks around, and to her surprise, she finds Xiao Lang. Mu Feiyu wondered why Xiao Lang was here. Sidu Jianchen was annoyed that this guy wasn't dead yet. Without any delay, Liu Ye calls out to Xiao Lang, and he quickly turns behind. Xiao Lang looks at Liu Ye and feels blessed once again. He asks her to come to him. Liu Ye hesitates and clenches her fist. She thinks that she shouldn't go to him. Xiao Lang senses her hesitancy and stretches his hand forward, asking her to come to him. Liu Ye was glad, and she finally took his hand in her hand. They hold hands, and she gives him a heartwarming smile. Xiao Lang looks at her as if there's no tomorrow. They get closer, and Xiao Qingyi observes them carefully. She smiles happily, and she knows that Xiao Lang has grown up now. Xiao Qingyi then announces that they have to go back. Yes, they indeed had to get back to Yaowang City first. Xiao Qingyi asks Xiao Fudu to take care of the affairs here and informs him that when he is back, they will go and pay a visit to the Xiao family together. Xiao Fudu rightly agrees, but Xiao Lang seems to disagree with Lady Qingyi. Xiao Qingyi looks confused, and she wonders what Xiao Lang was planning to do. Xiao Lang steps forward and declares that he has one more thing to do. It was time for him to settle down scores with Sidu Jianchen. Xiao Lang confronts him, and Jianchen was already worried about the situation as he keeps wondering what Xiao Lang wants to do. Deep down, this guy trembles as he doubts that Xiao Lang definitely knew something. Xiao Lang brings up a past incident where Xiao Lang had clearly told Sidu Jianchen that he was not interested in playing with him, but Jianchen continued to play tricks on him again and again. Xiao Lang was pretty sure that during an event, a chain snake had gone after him crazily was done by Sidu Jianchen. Xiao Lang praises Jianchen for his stupidity and how he did all this without anybody knowing about it. Xiao Lang claims that he almost died at that time. Sidu Jianchen trembles badly and tries to deny that he didn't do it. The very next moment, Jianchen kneels down in front of Xiao Lang and apologizes. He begs for forgiveness and claims that at that time he was blind. Jianchen agrees that he shouldn't have done that and apologizes continuously. He sincerely asks Xiao Lang to spare his life, but Xiao Lang definitely has some different plans. Next up, Xiao Lang unsheathes his sword and wields it. The sword swiftly cuts through Sidu Jianchen's body, and he cries in pain. He then falls onto the ground with a bang. Xiao Fudu was impressed by this move and he openly praises Xiao Lang. He was satisfied, as Xiao Qingyi has a great son. Xiao Qingyi nods in approval, and she knows that Xiao Lang has now grown up. Xiao Lang's fellow companions were stunned, and they knew that Xiao Lang was formidable. Bu Xiao Man notices Xiao Lang going far away, and she gets emotional as he was now really getting farther and farther away from her. Here, one of the guards informs Xiao Fudu that Lady Qingyi and Xiao Lang have returned to Yao City. He then asks his lord what to do with the other fighters from the Huo family. Xiao Fudu orders his men to kill them all. Now that Xiao Fudu had ordered a dreadful slaughter of their enemies, the blood dragons roared in excitement. Xiao Lang was worried and asked his aunt about what Xiao Fudu would do. Xiao Qingyi couldn't help but taunt him, saying that even after so many years, he's still not tough enough. If Xiao Lang continued to be merciful to his enemies, he would end up hurting himself. People here in the Soul Land were brutal, and if he didn't kill the enemies first, they would slaughter his whole family. The whole Xiao family would have been dead if the people of Huofeng City had united and attacked them. Moreover, Xiao Fudu could succeed effortlessly because of his reputation as a cruel killer, which was overwhelming. It was a reputation earned by the Xiao family through 1,000 years of killing. Xiao Lang knew about this, but he still thinks that it's inhuman to kill the weak. Xiao Qingyi clarifies that the Xiao family never kills the weak. In fact, it was a family rule that no one was allowed to kill innocent civilians. She knew that Xiao Lang was confused and had a lot of questions. Xiao Qingyi promises to answer him when they go back to Yaowang City. Now that Xiao Lang had grown up, it was time to tell him the truth. Once they are back in Yaowang City, Xiao Qingyi begins with the real backstory of Xiao Lang. Xiao Qingyi introduces herself and tells Xiao Lang about his grandfather, Xiao Busi, who is also her father. He is the patriarch of the Xiao family, which is one of the 4 superior families. Qingyi continues the story and tells Xiao Lang about his parents, who died soon after he was born. Later on, Xiao Busi was trapped in the Longhu Mountain, and Qingyi was afraid that he would be imprisoned there for life, so she took Xiao Lang away and left the Xiao family. Xiao Busi was back now, and Qingyi couldn't wait to meet her father. She even offers Xiao Lang to join her. So it turns out that Xiao Lang was really a descendant of a prestigious family, but he has never been emotionally attached to the Xiao family, and he doesn't even care about them. He just wants to be with Xiao Qingyi and Xiao Dao. So Xiao Lang asks his aunt to decide for him. Qingyi suggests that he go back and pay tribute to his deceased parents and meet his grandfather. She assures him, saying that if he ever feels uncomfortable, they'll leave immediately. Qingyi promises to be with her wherever she goes. Besides all this, Xiao Lang wanted to know about the phoenix pills that couldn't cure Xiao Qingyi's legs. Yes, Qingyi had lied to him because she wanted Xiao Lang to focus on his practice. She assures him that once they are back with the Xiao family, they'll find better medicine and everything will be fine. Rather than this, Xiao Lang also inquires about Xiao Ba, about how his father died, and about his grandfather's nature. He was also curious if the government would go after them as they killed people in Huofeng City. Xiao Qingyi asks him to relax and sort out his doubts. They were going to set off tomorrow, and Xiao Lang still had enough of time. Later on, Xiao Lang meets up with Liu Ye. First things first, he clarifies that he didn't mean to lie to her, as he himself didn't know that he was a descendant of the Xiao family. Xiao Lang then promises Liu Ye that nothing will happen to the Liu family, and he'll ask Lord Ba to take care of it. He informs her about his plans, and he assures her that he'll pick her up when he settles down. Liu Ye also promises to wait for him no matter how long it takes, and they kiss passionately. Xiao Lang asks her to wait like a good girl, and she agrees. Amid the strangest of all things, Xiao Lang gets a dream about that weird glowing grass that had troubled him to some great extent, and it entangles his body again. Abruptly, he opens his eyes, and damn, this was definitely not a dream, as all of his wounds were healed. He decides to ask his grandfather about it later. By then, Liu Ye, who was already awake, asked Xiao Lang whether he had a nightmare. She was awake because she wanted to look at Xiao Lang for a little longer. Xiao Lang looks at her with love in his eyes and reassures her, saying that he will bring her to the Xiao family soon. Liu Ye was fine with everything as long as she had Xiao Lang by her side. She was glad, as she had finally tamed a lone wolf like him. Well, this girl was really an evil spirit, and now she wants to be evil to him again. Later in the morning, everyone gathers around, and Xiao Lang thanks Xiao Ba for taking care of him these days. He promises to definitely return this favor in the future. Xiao Ba modestly answers, saying that he was just doing his duty. Next up, Xiao Lang bids goodbye to Liu Ye, and she hugs him tightly. Xiao Lang then leaves with the thought of definitely seeing her again. Xiao Ba looks at him and wonders if this lone wolf is finally going to howl into the world. Well, this man is so wild and intractable, so Xiao Ba couldn't help but think about the earth-shaking things that he would cause when he arrived in the imperial city. Here, Luya also looks at Xiao Lang and hopes that when her little man rises high in the world, he won't forget that there's a woman called Luya waiting for him in Yaowang City. The Zhan dynasty, which has a long history, has been in the Soul Land for more than 1,000 years. The Zai dynasty in the north has tried to seize this rich land so many times, but it has all been in vain. During the past 100 years, the royalty of the Zhan dynasty has become weak, mainly because of this generation's vicious emperor. He enjoys his life, continues to indulge himself in sex and booze, and has accomplished nothing. However, the army of the Zai dynasty never ever got the chance to set foot in the land of the Zhan dynasty, especially because of the 4 superfamilies and an army god. The most revered strong man from the Zai dynasty has rightly said that the Zhan dynasty will thrive as long as the 4 superfamilies and the army god are still there. So from this, it was clear how important these 4 superfamilies are to the Zhan dynasty. Here, Xiao Lang finally reaches the Xiao family mansion, and amid the bustling, he desires to meet his grandfather, and he's certain that Xiao Busi must be the best of the best. Here's the video ends. Guys, if you like this recap, then like the video. I will meet you in another video. Till then, bye.